Was he perfect tonight? No. But night after night, as he gets more and more opportunities, Ochai Abagji is proving that he was a steal for the Toronto Raptors at this year's trade deadline due to his intangibles, due to what he can bring to the table. The sparks of what he could develop into has me amped as a Toronto Raptors fan, much more amped than I would be for some random late first round pick in a draft that's touted to be not that great. Again, no one really knows. It's hard to predict NBA drafts, but Ochai Abagji has me really excited. In a game, against the Charlotte Hornets, you got to be a sicko in order to watch this game here tonight, but there are a lot of positives to take away, even though clearly without Scottie Barnes, the Toronto Raptors offense is a lot more ugly. We have more injuries. I don't think the Toronto Raptors are going to keep up a lot of winning ways to close out this season, but it's fun to see the sparks. It's fun to see the positives, as we saw some in tonight's game again against another team that is also pursuing a little tank for 2024 in the Charlotte Hornets. But the Toronto Raptors right now looking like they have some flashes, having some positives. Bruce Brown was out in this one, so the young guys got a lot of rain in tonight's game. And the first guy I want to talk about, again, he's in the thumbnail, he's in the title of this one, Ochai Abagji. Now, you look at his stats, you might say, hey, Ben, why are you hyping up Ochai Abagji? You're close to 34,000 subscribers. It might be a hot take. If you're looking to get some subs, make sure to subscribe to the channel because, he was 6 of 20 from the field, 1 of 7 from the three-point line. You see that efficiency, and you might say, that's not that great. But he's still at 13 points, playing out of position, being the Raptors are depleted right now in terms of actual bigs. I guess Chris Boucher could have played, still just glued to the bench there now at this point. But Ochai Abagji playing the power forward spot, had a plus 14 for the game, 13 points, 9 rebounds, and just loved his aggressiveness on the defensive end. Again, there's a few guys, Miles Bridges, Grant Williams, Brandon Miller, some wings that are pretty effective out there for the Charlotte Hornets, and Ochai Abagji was not afraid of anyone, out there on the court. Obviously, the center's coming in, and Bolden, not too much run, but Bertans, a bit more size off the bench and some Thor. But basically, Ochai Abagji was not afraid of any of the bigger guys out there on the Charlotte Hornet. They're not super tall, but they ran a little bit of a small ball unit, but lots of mass out there for the Charlotte Hornets. I thought defensively, he just brought a ton of energy to this team. And you can see it sort of in the box score, had a couple blocks in tonight's game, wasn't afraid of nothing, hustled out there on the defensive end, and fast breaks, had a really nasty, I guess it wasn't a fast break, but a nice read in terms of a lob, a nasty sort of catch on an alley-oop and throw down. But his intangibles, his athleticism, what he brings, that potential on the defensive end, plus what we know he can provide, in terms of outside shooting. Didn't show a bunch of it tonight, only at 1 3 and 7 attempts, but the capability of spacing the floor, and I thought he made a couple of really nice drives. Again, sometimes he's a little bit out of control, misses at the rim, misses at the basket, but I just like what I'm seeing. The eye test is showing me, especially with a month and a half of development now to go to close out this season, where he should be getting minutes. He should be in these lineups. Bruce Brown, again, a guy that, with Scottie Barnes out, now Jakob Poeltl potentially out. We'll discuss him as the studio goes along. I'd much rather see those minutes go to Grady Dick as well as Ochai Abagji, rather than these 9 minutes and minute nights we saw from him in the Raptors last game. So, Ochai, really impressed with the fact that we got him alongside Kelly Olynyk for Otto Porter Jr. and just a super late first round pick has me very happy with sort of the direction, at least that trade sort of swung the Raptors sort of rotation in. Again, not a perfect game by him by any means, but I think it's an absolute steal for the Toronto Raptors. But there are a lot of other positives to take away in this game. The offense was ugly. It wasn't a perfect game. The Raptors almost blew it down the stretch, but Emmanuel quickly deserves a ton of praise. 22 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, 6 of 14 from the field. Again, his jump shot, it's cooled off a little bit. I still have extreme confidence when he fires up those 3-point shots, but just the numbers you can see, the efficiency has dialed back a little bit from Emmanuel quickly, but holy smokes, the way he's been facilitating running the Toronto Raptors offense has me pumped to see this guy grow and develop into the point guard of the future for the Toronto Raptors. IQ, again, he can shoot the three, play solid defense, he's got those quick feet, and also is just doing a really good job of facilitating, whether it's the pick and roll, those dime passes, or just getting it to the right people, getting the ball in the hands of the hot players. That's what IQ can do, does the right things at the point guard position for this Raptors group. So that's huge to see, and again, we were all not excited when Scottie Barnes went down, but the one thing that we could shift our gaze to, when Scottie Barnes went down is seeing a team where the top guy is RJ Barrett. Now, I guess Abagji took the most shots in this game, but RJ Barrett, again, another remarkably efficient night. 23 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, right? 9 rebounds. Oh my god. Can I read? Yeah. RJ Barrett, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals there. Had 5 turnovers, which was tough. Again, reverting to some of the ugliness of the offense, but 3-6 from the three-point line. His free throw shooting has randomly fallen off a cliff. He was a really, really solid free throw shooter for the oh my god, my camera's gone. I'm gonna have to fix this. 1 second. I've recorded too many videos today, so my camera died. It's what it is. Didn't charge the camera up properly, but basically we'll end it up here with the webcam going. But RJ Barrett, again, the offense was fully in his control, was in his hands, and again, did a phenomenal job scoring efficiently, doing his thing. But what happens when the defense is centrally focused on you? You're going to turn over the ball a little bit more. Usually the efficiency goes down. At least for RJ Barrett, the efficiency didn't really change. Again, looking at his stats, did a good job, 10 of 16 from the field, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. Got rebounds, got some assists. I really like what RJ Barrett's been providing for this team, and it's nice to see, even if it's against the Charlotte Hornets, him have a big game, have a strong performance, even without sort of Scotty Barnes being able to take the load off of him. It continues to just be an absolute, I don't even want to say surprise, because we all knew the potential of him coming to the Toronto Raptors, but, living up to the hype of, the Maple Mamba and all those types of things joining this group. So, huge stuff there from our backcourt in terms of Manuel Quickley and RJ Barrett. Gary Trent Jr. is also having a little renaissance in his career now at this point. 17 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, a game-saving steal as well. And the Charlotte Hornets were down by 3, I believe, and Gary Trent Jr. got a very, very clutch, just sort of pickpocket and seal the deal. Finish off this game with a lay to close it off there. His defense has been something that has amped up in the last couple of weeks. He's knocking down his threes. He looks extremely confident firing up those shots. I mean, in the second half, had a few moments where he was just firing some of those jimmies, and it looks good. And nights when Gary Trent Jr.'s hitting the three, and particularly playing the defense end of the floor, this is what had everyone hyped about Gary Trent Jr. when he was signed, or when he was traded from Norman Powell, when we brought him back, with this specific contract, and had people making the comparisons to Bradley Beal and stuff. And obviously he's not going to live up to that, but and Gary Trent Jr. is going good and playing on the defensive end. It's a whole different player and a whole different outlook, on his potential future with the Toronto Raptors. So that's something that's big there. I'm taking off the glasses here now as well. Jakob Poeltl, again, only 15 minutes, dealt with a hand injury, so not sure, left pinky finger, I believe, or I'm not sure which hand. Out with a pinky injury. Not sure if that's something that's going to keep him out long. Again, if the Toronto Raptors are pursuing that tank, I mean, maybe it makes sense to sort of keep Jakob Poeltl out a little bit longer term. But I mean, we're on a little one-game win streak here now at this point. No pizza parties just yet for the Toronto Raptors, but I mean, we gotta celebrate. We might not have a lot of these one-game win streaks to close off this season just yet, especially if Jakob Poeltl goes out. Bruce Brown, for as bad as he's been, is still a guy that would probably help us getting wins. I mean, the Raptors probably want to develop these younger guys. So Poeltl, we'll see how his hand injury sort of prevails. Even with Poeltl out, no Boucher in tonight's lineup, but Carton, 12 minutes, didn't do a whole lot in those type of run, but had 2 points, a bucket in the paint. Grady Dick continues to be solid off the bench of the Toronto Raptors. Knocked down 3 threes, extremely confident, hit a gorgeous corner 3. That was contested, that had a hand in his face, that had a gorgeous arc. I mean, he's been great. Jordan Nwora back into the lineup with Bruce Brown out. Again, 11 points, 4 rebounds. Not a guy that a lot of people predict to be a part of the Raptors' future, but still, 25 years old, a younger-ish player in the NBA that could get you some buckets. That could be a cheap sort of 3 threat for the Toronto Raptors in the future. So happy to see him continuously perform well whenever he gets opportunities. And then, obviously, Kelly Olynyk, who 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, filling up the stat sheet, but struggled, getting buckets there tonight. Only had 4 points in this one, all free throws. Not making his 3-point shot so far with the Toronto Raptors. And for a guy that I believe was shooting over 40% from the 3-point line, you expect that to sort of even itself out here now soon. But we'll see. It's an extremely small sample size. Am I overreacting to the Charlotte Hornets game? No. I'm happy with Ochai Abagji. I'm looking at these games based off the individual players. Who's going to really assert themselves as players the Raptors should keep long term? That's what these games are going to be looked at. Whether we win, whether we lose, close out this season. So happy with how the Toronto Raptors played. Happy with all the individual performances. We'll see how things now play out as the schedule gets tougher. And now with potentially Scotty and Jakob Poeltl out of the lineup, might be tough for this team. But folks, you guys are the best to make this far. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I'm signing out. Cheers.